Hello, and welcome to the Who University of Law. In today's video, it's a bit of a speculation, really. Obviously, we're coming up to November, which is Doctor Who's 60th anniversary month. And we're looking forward to, well, mainly I'm looking forward to the 3 specials to celebrate the anniversary, starring our new 14th Doctor, along with the returning Donna Noble. But of course, that's not the only dramatised content we've had this year. We have had from Big Finish this, a Once and Future, this series that's been going on now since May, if my memory serves me well. And in that time, we've had the 4th Doctor, the 5th Doctor, we've had the 7th Doctor, we've also had the 6th Doctor, hasn't come out on CD yet, we've had the 10th Doctor, the 9th Doctor, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, and coming out tomorrow, we have got the 8th Doctor. Now, at first I assumed that it was going to be the War Doctor who was in the Time War and got damaged by a weapon and was degenerating, but it was established quite early on in that first episode that it is the 8th Doctor, namely because in the CGI scene that they showed on YouTube, it was the 8th Doctor's TARDIS and costume that we see him in. The fact is, first time he degenerates, he goes backwards to the 7th Doctor, then 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, etc., implying that it's the 8th Doctor. And there have been several indicators since, not least Genius of War, which is very much a sequel to the 8th Doctor box set, the last 8th Doctor Time War 4 box set, carries Davros' story directly on from there. So it is the 8th Doctor who's degenerating, and in tomorrow's episode, we're going to get the 8th Doctor back. Now, if you can't wait till tomorrow, at the moment you can listen to the first 15 minutes as a drama tease on the Big Finish podcast. I listened to that on Sunday morning, and it's looking good. We've got 4th Doctor and 8th Doctor sort of degenerating back and forth. We've got Susan. It's looking exciting. Now, I'm here to speculate about what might happen tomorrow. So what we can establish is that this is going to be the final Once and Future story. This is wrapping up the last 7 episodes. Interestingly, they've done it now in October rather than November. I guess that's because the BBC have got their own plans for November and they've maybe asked for it to be kept clear, so we're getting it in October rather than November. But we've got the double whammy. The last episode was great. I think the last episode gives us some clues as to what's going to happen. I'll come to that in a moment. But basically, this is going to wrap up the story. We've got the Union, which we kind of had hinted at more and more frequently as we've gone through. So that's all going to be wrapped up in tomorrow's episode. But this is the exciting bit. There is a coda. There is an additional chapter, like an epilogue, that's coming out in 13 months' time, in November 2024, the 61st anniversary of Doctor Who. I wonder if it will come out on the 23rd of November. Who knows? Well, I'm predicting that there's going to be a big cliffhanger at the end of tomorrow's episode. I reckon the story will be resolved, and there's going to be a cliffhanger launching into that epilogue. But what could it be? Well, I hope it's going to be something big, something exciting. My first theory is my most likely theory, which is the last story. The Ninth Doctor had the Lumiat, and the Lumiat, for those who don't know, is a incarnation of the Master who comes after Missy. Now, from Missy's TV episodes, you can see that she had a redemption arc, and when she regenerates, she gets killed by her former self, the John Sim Master, and it's established in Masterful and other Big Finish audio dramas that she became the Lumiat, which is a perfectly good Master. Having been redeemed as Missy, she becomes a good version the Master, like the Valiant being the dark version of the Doctor. This is the light version of the Master. Now, she somehow got infected by the degeneration effect on the Doctor in the end of the last story. And she told Livchenko to get out the TARDIS quick. Spoiler alert, by the way, I should have said that. Told Livchenko to get out the TARDIS quick because she didn't know what was going to come next, who was going to come next. And obviously we're meant to believe it's going to be like Derek Jacobi or John Sim or, one of the darker, more evil masters. Well, I've got a separate theory. So ever since the 13th Doctor's era, people wondered where Sacha Dhawan's O, or Spy Master, came from. Because if he's after Missy, it means Missy didn't get redeemed because she became the Master again. Now, the obvious explanation for that is the real-world explanation is that the Master's not much of a villain if they're redeemed. So clearly, Chris Chibnall, to be fair to him, had to have the Master back and had to have him back as a villain. So you kind of have to go back on that character development. But what if there's a reason? What if the Master was redeemed, became the Lumiat, and then, thanks to the degeneration weapon, regenerated, but in a way that caused them to retract to the way that they were, to the personality, undoing all of that character development. Of course, to be fair as well, each time you regenerate, you do change personality, so maybe it was just that there was a good Master and the next incarnation went back to their old ways. But I think it's possible that what we're going to see in tomorrow's episode is the Lumiat return, and we see her regenerate into Sacha Dhawan's Master. That would make sense because Sacha Dhawan is now signed up to do Big Finish. Nick Briggs was recently asked if there was any announcements on that or the Fugitive Doctor ranges. He said that current time they weren't able to announce anything, but there were plans, and they were ready to announce at some point. So this stuff is still happening, and I wonder if they're keeping quiet because we're actually going to launch it as a part of this prologue, this epilogue, that next year the Coda is going to be Sacha Dhawan's debut at Big Finish, a big Master story. And of course that also links to the fact that maybe we're getting Jo Martin in as the Fugitive Doctor. Maybe we get to see her back again because she's the only Doctor on Big Finish's books so far that hasn't been used. Of course, there's also the War Doctor, who hasn't been used yet, with Jonathan Carley. We've had all the other recast Doctors, except for Jonathan Carley. Maybe it's going to be the War Doctor. Maybe the Coda is actually, maybe at the end of the next episode tomorrow, maybe it links directly into the Night of the Doctor. Maybe the episode ends with the Doctor all healed back to normal, and just to get into the TARDIS, he gets a distress call from Cass, and he has to go and rescue her, and then it leads into the War Doctor, the next story, and kind of the War Doctor Begins era. That's less likely, only because Susan is in this story, and I wonder if there's going to be some connection to the Doctor travelling with her great-grandson. Maybe we're going to get them introduced in the story at some point. Who knows? Because since her own child has been brought back from the multiverse, they haven't actually met yet. He hasn't been confronted with his mum. So that would be interesting to see. Of course, there are some other possibilities. Obviously, in the trailer, I honestly thought that was Matt Smith in the trailer. And then they're listing that it's Jacob Dudman. Maybe it's a bluff, maybe Matt Smith is in it, but they're crediting Jacob Dudman, so we have to take that as given. It's Jacob Dudman playing the 11th Doctor, but who knows, maybe it is Matt Smith back, or maybe Peter Capaldi makes his debut in tomorrow's episode in the finale, and we get him in the Coda. Or David Tennant playing the 14th Doctor. Maybe the 14th Doctor is in the Coda next year. Maybe it's linking right in to what we're getting in this year's anniversary specials, linking everything in together. Who knows? These are all just speculations. I think the Sacha Dhawan theory is most likely. But I'm just excited because it's been an interesting series. I have liked the getting an episode a month. I've missed that with the box sets, having to wait for the next episode. I felt they've gotten stronger of late. I thought this one was really good, Genius for All, the 7th Doctor. I'm going to review them more properly later, but they've all got their merits. And the ones that grabbed me the most, I thought this was an interesting one in its own right. This was a great starting one. This really grabbed me. This was a really good one. But yeah, they've all grabbed me in their own right, but I thought this one, the 9th Doctor one, up in my two favourites, the 7th and the 9th. And the 8th Doctor one tomorrow is certainly shaping up to be the same. And of course, it's going to be a great time for the 8th Doctor fans. We've had last week with the Paternoster Gang, his appearance in that, and I think maybe we're going to get more of him in future box sets. Who knows? It's certainly hinted at the end. Obviously, we've got this week, and I believe we've got his Audacity box set next week, so it's a great time to be an 8th Doctor fan. And of course, following on from that, we're also getting the next 8th Doctor box set in December, as well as his appearance in the War Doctor range, would you believe? And then next year, we've got another Time War box set. We've got 2 linked box sets. I think they're coming in May and December, respectively. The Time War box set's coming out in November. We thought that was going to be, it was only going to go as far as Time War 6. It's called Part 1, so that's assuming now we're going to get a Volume 7 the following year in 2025. So yeah, exciting times. But what are your thoughts? Any thoughts about the big one tomorrow? Do let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to speaking to you soon.